Hey guys, it is I, Glory, or Britt, whatever you may know me as. A lot of aliases out there. But welcome to my piercing question and answer video. Super excited to do this. I put the little question thing on my Instagram back in January, and life has just been moving extremely fast. I never really have a moment to just sit the fuck down and talk. And I finally caught a moment. So here I am, happy to be here, excited to answer these questions and just give a little inside look into my upbringing as a piercer. All right, so first question is, how did I learn to do all the piercings I know how to do now? Well, the very first piercing I did was a second lobe, and it was done very spontaneously with a sewing needle. Yes. After that moment, that was like my brain just snapped. Something in my brain just clicked, and a whole new realm that I didn't even know existed kind of like opened up in my brain. Like, that was really a canon event for me. So after that, I was kind of just like, yo, like, I can do this on people. It started off as just something I wanted to learn how to do, something fun. So I did, the basic research because I wanted to be responsible. I was like, I'm dealing with blood and needles. I don't want to kill nobody, infect nobody. You know, bloodborne pathogens are a thing, and I was smart enough to be aware of that. So, yeah, I did my due diligence. And then I ordered a basic kit off Amazon, went on my spam page. My job, this is 2020, like a couple months out of high school. This is what I was doing while in college and working part time at Starbucks. I'm gonna get into like the whole expansion of my career for the second question. But yeah, posted on my Finsta, yo, anybody want a piercing? Like, I'll pull up to you. Hi, spam. So, since I love y'all more than other people, I'm letting y'all know that I am now piercing. So, if you want to get pierced by yours truly, slide up and I'll let you know if I'm doing the piercing that you want. Also, I come to you. So, to my surprise, people was fucking with it. And shout out to those people, man. Shout out to my spam friends who really believed in me, really saw a vision, really put their body and trust in my hands. Like, y'all, some real ones. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. So, yeah, that was how I kind of got my practice in, was just friends, getting feedback, going back to the drawing board, seeing what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong. A lot of what I know is trial and error. I am mostly self-taught, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. Like, I'm very proud of how much I've been able to teach myself and how I still continue to learn to this day. You know, uh the piercing industry, piercing techniques are like forever evolving. How I used to do things then are very different than how I do them now. I did have an apprenticeship though, and I'd be forgetting about it, but it was just because it was so ass. It lasted 2 weeks, and it was at this sketchy ass shop with this fucking white guy. He was weird. He had dreads. Like, that's all you have to fucking know. White guy with dreads. And the first piercing he wanted to teach me how to do was nipples. So he made me bring my friend. I brought her in, and he was like grabbing up on her over here, like trying to show me how to pierce nipples. I was like, you're weird. So yeah, that was my one and only apprenticeship. I was like, fuck that. I am the apprenticeship. And yeah, I just kept learning. So that is how I learned how to do the piercings I do today. Just going on Instagram, asking people, hey, I want to try this. And yeah. All right. Second question is, why did I become a piercer. And to be honest, it kind of just happened. When I was younger, I never really thought to myself, like, oh, I want to be a piercer when I grow up. Like, it was nothing like that. I think that the passion was revealed to me with time. So, after I started practicing on people, my grandma, real one, since day fucking one, never doubted me, always believed in me, believed in my vision, what I was doing, was like, yo, you can start taking clients here at home. So she opened up her dining room to me, and I was literally piercing people out of the dining room. And those are just some of the most memorable times in life. Having strangers off Instagram pull up to my grandma's house and getting pierced. Like, I just remember them sitting. I'm marking them up. She's chilling in the kitchen. They're like asking her, like, oh, do you think this looks good on me? Just such a real ass bitch. Like, man, people I met, all the different people that came to my house, and nothing bad ever happened, thank God. But with that was how clientele started building. The clientele I have now is honestly built off word of mouth. Just people recommending me to others. And yeah, this was, like I said, a little bit after high school. I was in college, but then I dropped out and I started doing a medical assistant program, which I graduated, by the way. Your girl is a certified medical assistant. But I bring that up to say that I never gave up on piercing. Like, no matter what was going on, ages 18 through 20 for me were very messy. Just the people I was surrounding myself with, the behaviors I was indulging in, just the way I was going through life was fucking insane. But piercing would always ground me and kind of just level me out. So when I remember when I was doing my externship, when I was about to graduate my medical assistant program, I was working 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, weekends at Starbucks, and I was still finding time to pierce. Like, I'm just like I never gave up. I really never gave up on that shit. I never went long amount of time without doing a piercing. I was just like, nah, like, I gotta keep going, bruh. Like, this is what makes me happy. And, working those shitty jobs that I had really made me realize, like, I don't feel like
Editor Britt here. I just wanted to give like a quick rundown of a couple of jobs I've had because I think they're funny and they kind of shaped my journey in a way. So I worked at Starbucks for a very long time. I worked as a behavioral technician, meaning I was working one on one with an autistic child. I worked little racers. I'm gonna insert right here what that was. I'll basically like set up parties and stuff. I did a lot of hosting and waitressing. I was a server at a strip club at one point. Took pictures of the kids with Santa. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Worked with Life Touch, taking pictures for elementary school kids. No, preschool. And yeah. Oh, and then I was a medical assistant for my externship. I worked at the hospital in the family planning department. So I was working with women um who were about to give birth, and then family planning, which was like the abortion clinic basically. Yeah, a lot of things. Oh, and I worked as a medical assistant for a cosmetic surgery office. So I was seeing BBLs in real life, in real time. Like, I was in the surgery room helping doctors give women surgery and helping them recover and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh, and I worked at a dispo while I was underage, and my boss who employed me is now in prison.
this when I do piercings. Like, I'm happy. I'm having a great time. How do I make this my full-time job? So, shortly after I graduated my medical assistant program, I ran away from home. Ran away from home slash got kicked out. Thugging. Like, I was thugging. I left home on a whim with, I would say, like 7 outfits, maybe like a band to my name. I got a trapped out ass Facebook marketplace room, and people still came to me. Like, piercings for me was my trap. Like, I was doing that shit to survive because Starbucks was not paying me enough. At this point, I was on my own. I had to provide for myself, pay my rent. It gave me so much character. Like, those times in my life really built me into the woman I am today, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it or admit it. But yeah, again, piercing always there for me. If nobody was there, piercing was there, bruh. Like, it makes me emotional looking back at those times. Like, damn, like that shit really held me down, and in a way, in a level that I feel like not a lot of people can understand. Like, that shit really holds a special place in my heart. So, boom. Amidst of me being on my own for the first time and having toxic friends and a toxic relationship and all this other bullshit, a friend at the time was sharing a suite with this girl, and they had a waiting room space, and they were like, we'll rent you our waiting room. So that was like my first experience of piercing outside of home. Oh, and I want to mention, when I was trapping, um not to sound corny or anything, like, that was really what it was though. Like, I don't, if I could really explain some shit to give y'all a glimpse into how I was living, I would, but it's just very like crazy to think about. Anyways, I was going to people's houses. I was driving places. I'll pull up to random people's houses, bring my piercing stuff with me. I was really swerving piercings, bruh. Like, that's what, like, piercing was my trap. Like, I was pulling up piercing people, bruh. Fuck serving you drugs. I'm serving you a piercing. Anyways, I'm yapping now. So that was like my first sweet experience, you know. It was cool. I learned a lot. My professionalism definitely started to build. That's when I made my first website. I started making business cards. Yeah, it was like I really felt what it was like to be a business owner and have the responsibility of, like, paying a rent and supplying yourself and making sure that you have a profitable business. So, boom, the lease ends there, and my plan was to take over the lease of like all the 3 rooms and kind of just have that suite to myself. But on paper, I didn't make enough money, so they're like, "I'm sorry, you can't be here." And I had no backup plan. I remember feeling so like lost, and on a whim, I went to this place near my house that rented out spots, but it was very trapped out. I'm like crackheads outside. But that's one thing with me and my clients and my community, and I will get further into community because doing this has shown me how, like, the community that I built throughout my career has always been there for me no matter where I'm at. It don't matter if I'm at my grandma's house, if I'm in a trapped out, roached out uh Facebook marketplace room, if I'm in a studio. Now that I'm in a tattoo shop, in an official tattoo shop, being a licensed piercer, they're there. But I'm gonna save that bit for the community question. Yeah, my first independent studio. So at the time, I had money, but I didn't have that much money. And the rent of the place I was trying to get versus the rent I was paying before, it was 4 times more. 4 times the rent. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, how am I going to do this? All I had in my bank account was the first month's rent and the deposit. And I put myself in the universe's hands, and I was like, I'm giving you all I got. I'm putting all my faith into what I want to do. Because at this point, I already knew, like, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to keep going as a piercer. I want to have my own shop, and having my own studio was like a big step towards that. Put all that money down, and I just let go. And I am cannot be more grateful with how shit ended up being. Like, I was still working other jobs because I wasn't making the rent just off piercings alone. But with time, discipline, dedication, hustle, and grind, I kept marketing myself better. I started throwing events. I built an even stronger community than I had before. I was slowly able to pay my rent off just piercing. And that was like a monumental moment for me because it really showed my hard work paying off, how much I was investing into having better financial literacy, being better with my money, investing my money back into my business. So yeah, things were going good. And then I would say about 5 months into that, I get a DM from my old elementary school friend, and mind you, I haven't talked to her in years. She's like, yo, like, I work as a receptionist at this tattoo shop. They're looking to add a piercer. They said they're gonna license you. What's up? Literally, what the fuck? My license is something that was in my manifestations since day fucking one. I have journals from 2021. I'm a licensed piercer. But it took hard work, dedication, and never giving. Like, nothing was handed to me, bro. I worked for everything I have. And yeah, that was May of last year. We're currently in April. Next month will be a year of piercing being my full time job. And that's why I became a piercer. Like, literally, shit just kept happening. Like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And now I'm here where I've been wanting to be, and I'm not done yet. Oh, I'm not done. I will have my Glory Dungeon shop next 5. Wait on it. You will see it. And I'm excited for it. I just know I have to keep putting in the work like I've been doing for the past 6 fucking years. 6 more years, 12 years, and then I'm gonna be fucking old and retired. And yeah, excited for the life I have yet to live. All right, and last question because I feel like I've been yapping my fucking ass off. Like, I need some water. But I really needed this. I really needed to just sit the fuck down and speak my mind. Anyways, last question. What inspired you into getting in the piercing community? So, I got my first piercing when I was 17. I got my belly pierced because I was a heartbroken teenager and I thought it would make me feel better, and it honestly did. After that, that was kind of when my interest in body modification was sparked. As soon as I turned 18, I kept getting piercings. I started getting tattoos. But once I got on the provider side of it, I kind of understood the deeper side of piercing. I started looking into the history of it and realizing that the piercing industry is very whitewashed. A lot of people don't realize that piercings used to be rituals, celebrations, um, rite of passages of manhood and womanhood for our African and indigenous ancestors. Yet, for a while, piercings was like white people shit. And I just felt like, yeah, we were mad underrepresented. And I was like, I love being a part of this community, but I want to make a safe space for my people, my queer people, my black people, my brown people. And yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to start throwing events. I would throw I started throwing tattoo and piercing parties with my friends. I had my friends selling art. We got the Uno cards out. We got the man caller out. We got music blasting. We vibing. People getting tatted, pierced. It's great. You know, we have community. We're surrounded by like-minded individuals, and it's been great. My first real taste of the community, I would say, was in 2025. Yeah, when I had like my 5 year anniversary, we had tarot, we had henna, tattoos, piercing. My friend was selling the shrooms. The vibes was just going crazy, bruh. We had a table of people coloring pages in, vibing, talking, just real human connection, real human interaction. And it was all brought by people who love body modifications. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me, was just the lack of representation and understanding the deeper side of piercing. And when I say that, I mean like people call it character customization, and people don't understand how important that is for the soul, how important it is to do things and add things to your body that make you feel more like yourself. Piercings can be gender affirming, they can make you feel more pretty, more handsome, just self expression, man. Express your fucking self. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it right there. I hope y'all enjoyed. I might do this again. I really enjoyed just like I said, sitting down for a second, speaking my mind, because I be moving too fast. I be all over the place all the time. So this has been nice. Glory out.